What if I told you that the most famous last words in history were actually written 1,000 years before they were spoken? Today, we're diving into Psalm 22, a passage so prophetic and emotionally raw that it will completely change how you see both ancient poetry and modern faith. This isn't just any psalm, it's the one that predicted crucifixion before crucifixion was even invented. By the end of this video, you'll understand why scholars call this the most important prophecy in the Old Testament, and you'll master some of the most powerful English expressions for describing human suffering and divine hope. The psalm opens with words that will send chills down your spine. My God, why have you abandoned me? Notice how the repetition of my God creates emphasis in English. This technique, called anaphora, makes the cry more desperate and personal. The word abandoned here is particularly strong. It doesn't just mean left alone, but completely forsaken, like being deserted in your darkest hour. When we say someone feels abandoned, we're talking about the deepest kind of loneliness. The psalmist continues, "Why are you so far away when I groan for help?" The verb, groan, is beautiful here. It's not just crying or shouting, it's that deep, painful sound we make when words aren't enough. Have you ever felt so overwhelmed that all you could do was groan? That's the raw emotion we're seeing here. If this kind of emotional vocabulary resonates with you, make sure to subscribe because we'll be exploring more powerful expressions like these throughout this series. The intensity builds as the writer describes his daily struggle. Every day I call to you, my God, but you do not answer. Every night I lift my voice, but I find no relief. Notice the beautiful parallel structure here. Every day contrasted with every night, showing that this suffering never stops. The phrase lift my voice is a poetic way of saying pray or cry out. In English, when we lift something, we're raising it up, making it higher. So lifting your voice means speaking louder, with more intensity. The word relief at the end is crucial. It means the end of pain or worry. When you take a painkiller, you're seeking relief. When you finally solve a problem that's been bothering you, you feel relief. But here, there's no relief, just continuous suffering. The contrast between calling out and receiving no answer creates a rhythm that mirrors the psalmist's endless cycle of hope and disappointment. But then something beautiful happens. Despite feeling abandoned, the psalmist remembers God's character. Yet you are holy, enthroned on the praises of Israel. The word yet is doing heavy lifting here. It's showing contrast, like saying but or however. Even in his pain, he acknowledges God's holiness. Enthroned is a majestic word meaning seated on a throne like a king. When we say someone is enthroned on praises, we mean they're established and honored through worship. This is sophisticated English. Using enthroned instead of just seated adds dignity and power to the image. The psalmist continues, "Our ancestors trusted in you, and you rescued them. They cried out to you and were saved." The word ancestors refers to previous generations, people who came before us. Rescued and saved are synonyms here. but rescued implies being pulled out of danger, like a firefighter rescuing someone from a burning building. This historical perspective gives the psalmist hope. If God saved people before, maybe he'll do it again. The emotional roller coaster continues as the psalmist's self-image plummets. But I am a worm and not a man. I am scorned and despised by all. This is one of the most powerful metaphors in the Bible. Calling yourself a worm means you feel completely worthless, lower than the lowest creature. In English, when we say someone is treated like a worm, we mean they're shown no respect at all. Scorned means looked down upon with contempt. It's stronger than just being disliked. Despised is even stronger. It means hated with disgust. The phrase by all emphasizes that everyone, not just enemies, has turned against him. This is the language of complete social rejection. The mockery becomes specific. Everyone who sees me mocks me. They sneer and shake their heads. To mock someone means to make fun of them cruelly. Sneer is a facial expression showing contempt. It's like a nasty smile that shows you think someone is stupid or worthless. When people shake their heads, they're showing disapproval or disappointment. These are universal human gestures that translate across cultures and centuries. If you're finding these emotional expressions helpful for understanding both English and human nature, hit that like button to let me know. The mockery becomes even more cutting with direct quotes. Is this the one who relies on the Lord? Then let the Lord save him. If the Lord loves him so much, let the Lord rescue him. This is sarcasm at its cruelest. The word relies means depends on or trusts in. When people use phrases like, then let the Lord save him, they're not actually hoping for salvation. They're mocking the person's faith. It's like saying, if you're so special to God, where is he now? This kind of taunting question is designed to make someone doubt their beliefs. The repetition of let the Lord shows how the mockers are throwing the psalmist's own faith back at him as a weapon. Yet even in recording these cruel words, the psalmist is being honest about the reality of suffering. Sometimes our faith becomes a target for others. Skepticism and cruelty. But then the psalmist's memory shifts to his earliest relationship with God. Yet you brought me safely from my mother's womb and led me to trust you at my mother's breast. Here's that powerful word yet again, showing contrast with the mockery he just described. The phrase from my mother's womb refers to birth, the very beginning of life. This shows that his relationship with God started before he could even choose it. Led me to trust is beautiful English. It means God gently guided him into faith, like a parent teaching a child to walk. At my mother's breast refers to nursing, the most intimate and dependent relationship a human can have. This imagery shows that trusting God is as natural and necessary as a baby needing milk. The psalmist continues, I was thrust into your arms at my birth. You have been my God from the moment I was born. Thrust into your arms suggests being placed there quickly, perhaps urgently, like a mother putting her baby into safe hands. This creates an image of God as the ultimate caregiver from day one. Now the psalmist's plea becomes urgent. Do not stay so far from me, for trouble is near, and no one else can help me. The phrase "do not stay so far" is a polite but desperate way of asking God to come closer. In English, we often use "do not" instead of "don't" when we're being more formal or serious. Trouble is near means danger is approaching. It's not here yet, but it's coming. The phrase "no one else can help me" shows complete dependence. When we say no one else, we're emphasizing that this person or thing is the only option left. This is the language of last resort, when all other help has failed. The enemies are described with vivid animal imagery. My enemies surround me like a herd of bulls. Fierce bulls of Bashan have hemmed me in. To surround means to form a circle around something, cutting off escape. A herd is a group of animals, usually large ones like cattle. Fierce means violently aggressive. Bashan was a region known for strong, well-fed cattle. So bulls of Bashan means the biggest, most dangerous bulls you can imagine. Hemmed me in means trapped with no way out, like being cornered. Can you feel the claustrophobia building in this description? The animal imagery becomes even more terrifying. Like lions, they open their jaws against me, roaring and tearing into their prey. Lions represent the ultimate predator in ancient literature. Open their jaws creates a visual of a lion's mouth opening wide, showing those deadly teeth. Roaring isn't just loud noise, it's the sound that paralyzes prey with fear. Tearing into their prey describes the violent way lions kill and eat their victims. The psalmist sees himself as prey, helpless, hunted, about to be devoured. This metaphor transforms human enemies into savage beasts, showing how overwhelming the threat feels. In English, when we say someone is like a lion, we usually mean they're brave and strong. But here, it's about predatory violence, showing how the same image can have completely different meanings depending on context. The physical effects of terror are described with startling honesty. My life is poured out like water, and all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax, melting within me. These metaphors are masterful. Poured out like water suggests life draining away uncontrollably. Water can't be contained once it starts flowing out. When bones are out of joint, they're disconnected from where they should be, causing pain and inability to function normally. Like wax, melting shows how extreme fear or stress can make your heart feel like it's dissolving. In English, we still use expressions like "my heart melted" to describe overwhelming emotion, but here it's about terror, not love. If you're amazed by how these ancient metaphors still capture human experience perfectly, you need to subscribe and turn on notifications because we're just getting started with this incredible psalm. The physical deterioration continues. My strength is dried up like sun-baked clay. My tongue sticks to the roof of my mouth. You have laid me in the dust and left me for dead. Dried up like sun-baked clay is brilliant imagery. Clay that's been baked by the sun becomes hard, cracked, and brittle, no longer useful. This describes complete exhaustion when strength is totally gone. My tongue sticks to the roof of my mouth describes extreme thirst and dehydration. When you're severely dehydrated, your mouth becomes so dry that your tongue literally sticks to the top of your mouth, making it hard to speak. Laid me in the dust means brought down to the ground, to the lowest possible position. Left me for dead means abandoned as if already dead. These aren't just poetic phrases, they're describing the physical reality of someone who's been through extreme trauma and is near death. The enemies continue their assault. My enemies surround me like a pack of dogs. An evil gang closes in on me. They have pierced my hands and feet. The imagery shifts from wild animals to domestic ones gone bad. A pack of dogs suggests wild or feral dogs that hunt in groups, much more dangerous than a single dog. An evil gang makes it clear these aren't just individual enemies but an organized group with bad intentions. Closes in means they're getting nearer, like a trap tightening. Then comes the most prophetic line, they have pierced my hands and feet. To pierce means to make a hole by stabbing through something. This is describing crucifixion, written hundreds of years before the Romans invented this method of execution. The specificity is stunning, not just hurt or wounded, but pierced, and specifically the hands and feet. Exactly where crucifixion nails would go. The humiliation reaches its peak. I can count all my bones. My enemies stare at me and gloat. They divide my garments among themselves and throw dice for my clothing. When you can count all your bones, it means you're so thin and stretched out that every bone is visible. Stare at me and gloat describes people looking with malicious satisfaction at someone's suffering. To gloat means to feel or show smug satisfaction about your own success or another's misfortune. Divide my garments means they're splitting up his clothes as if he's already dead. Throw dice refers to gambling. They're literally gambling for his clothing while he's still alive. This level of callous indifference to human suffering is chilling. Now the psalmist's desperation reaches its climax. O Lord, do not stay far away. You are my strength. Come quickly to my aid. Save me from the sword. Spare my precious life from these dogs. The O Lord is a formal address, showing respect even in desperation. Do not stay far away echoes his earlier plea, but now it's even more urgent. You are my strength is a declaration of dependence. Without God, he has no power. Come quickly to my aid means hurry to help me. Aid is assistance in time of need. Save me from the sword. The sword represents death by violence. Spare my precious life uses precious to mean valuable, worth saving. Calling his own life precious isn't vanity, it's recognizing the value of human life. From these dogs refers back to the pack of enemies he described earlier. The plea becomes even more specific, snatch me from the lion's jaws and from the horns of these wild oxen. To snatch means to grab quickly and pull away from danger. Lion's jaws brings back that predator imagery. He's asking to be pulled out of the mouth of death itself. Horns of wild oxen suggests being gored or trampled by powerful, uncontrolled animals. These metaphors show enemies as not just human opponents, but as forces of nature that will destroy everything in their path. Then, incredibly, the psalm takes a complete turn. The tone shifts from despair to promise. I will proclaim your name to my brothers and sisters. I will praise you among your assembled people. This is a massive emotional shift. I will proclaim means I will announce or declare publicly. Your name in Hebrew culture meant your character, your reputation, everything you are. Brothers and sisters shows he's thinking about his community again. He's no longer isolated. Among your assembled people means in the gathered congregation, in public worship. After all that suffering and isolation, he's now promising to be a public witness. The call to worship becomes universal. Praise the Lord, all you who fear him. Honor him, all you descendants of Jacob. Show him reverence, all you descendants of Israel. This is a rallying cry. All you who fear him means everyone who respects and reverences God. To fear God doesn't mean to be afraid of him, but to have deep respect and awe. Honor him means give him the respect he deserves. Show him reverence means demonstrate deep respect and worship. The repetition of all you descendants emphasizes that this isn't just for some people, it's for everyone in the community. The reason for this praise is explained, for he has not ignored or belittled the suffering of the needy. He has not turned his back on them, but has listened to their cries for help. This is the theological center of the psalm. Ignored means failed to pay attention to. Belittled means treated as unimportant or trivial. The suffering of the needy refers to people in desperate situations, like the psalmist himself. Has not turned his back means he hasn't rejected or abandoned them. To turn your back on someone means to reject them or refuse to help. Listened to their cries for help shows that God pays attention to desperate prayers. This verse explains why the psalmist's mood has changed. He realizes that even though he felt abandoned, God was actually listening all along. The psalmist makes his public commitment, I will praise you in the great assembly. I will fulfill my vows in the presence of those who worship you. A great assembly is a large gathering of people for worship. To fulfill my vows means to keep the promises you made to God. A vow is a solemn promise, often made during desperate times. In the presence of those who worship you means publicly, in front of other believers. This shows accountability. He's not just making private promises, but public commitments that others will witness. Are you starting to see how this psalm moves from individual despair to community hope? If this journey is resonating with you, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more insights into how biblical poetry can teach us both English and about the human experience. The promise extends to social justice. The poor will eat and be satisfied. All who seek the Lord will praise him. Their hearts will rejoice with everlasting joy. The poor will eat and be satisfied isn't just about food, it's about having enough, being fulfilled. In ancient times, having enough food was never guaranteed. so this is a promise of security and prosperity. All who seek the Lord means everyone who looks for God, who tries to find and follow Him. Will praise Him is future tense. It's a prediction, not just a hope. Their hearts will rejoice. The heart in Hebrew thought was the center of emotion and decision-making. Everlasting joy means happiness that lasts forever, that can't be taken away. This is joy that survives suffering, that outlasts temporary problems. The vision becomes global. The whole earth will acknowledge the Lord and return to Him. All the families of the nations will bow down before Him. This is massive in scope. The whole earth means everywhere, everyone. Will acknowledge means will recognize and admit the truth about who God is. Return to Him suggests they once knew Him but turned away, and now they're coming back. All the families of the nations emphasizes that this isn't limited to one ethnic group or country. It's universal. Will bow down before Him describes the physical act of worship, kneeling or prostrating to show respect and submission. This vision moves from personal rescue to global worship. The reason for this universal worship is explained, for royal power belongs to the Lord. He rules all the nations. Royal power means the authority that kings have, but here it belongs to God. Belongs to shows ownership. This power is rightfully His, not something He took illegally. He rules all the nations means His authority isn't limited to one country or people group. This is a statement about God's sovereignty over all human governments and peoples. The worship includes everyone, regardless of social status. Let the rich of the earth feast and worship, bow before Him, all who are mortal, all whose lives will end as dust. The rich of the earth refers to wealthy, powerful people. Feast and worship combines physical celebration with spiritual devotion. Even rich people, who might think they don't need God, are called to worship. All who are mortal means all human beings. Mortal means subject to death, not living forever. All whose lives will end as dust reminds us that everyone dies and returns to the earth. Dust here refers to death and burial. Dust to dust, as we sometimes say. This phrase levels the playing field, rich or poor, powerful or weak. Everyone ends up as dust. So everyone should worship God. The psalm ends with a vision of generational impact. Our children will also serve Him. Future generations will hear about the wonders of the Lord. His righteous acts will be told to those not yet born. They will hear about everything He has done. Our children will also serve Him, shows that faith and worship will continue beyond the current generation. Future generations means people not yet born, those who will come after us, will hear about the wonders of the Lord. Wonders are amazing acts, miracles, things that inspire awe and amazement. His righteous acts refers to the good and just things God has done. Told to those not yet born emphasizes that this story will continue being passed down through families and communities. Everything He has done is comprehensive. The full story of God's actions will be preserved and shared. What an incredible journey we've taken together through Psalm 22. We've traveled from the depths of despair to the heights of hope, from individual suffering to universal worship, from feeling abandoned to proclaiming God's faithfulness to future generations. This psalm doesn't just teach us English vocabulary and grammar, it shows us the full range of human emotion and the power of faith to transform our perspective even in our darkest moments. The language techniques we've explored today, metaphor, repetition, contrast, and emotional vocabulary are tools you can use in your own English communication to express deep feelings and create powerful connections with others. Remember, learning English through the Bible isn't just about language skills, it's about understanding the human experience at its most profound level. If this exploration has enriched your understanding of both English and life, please subscribe to our channel and share this video with others who are on their own journey of learning and discovery. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep growing in both language and wisdom.